We continue to our next session, Team 2, first part of this digital literacy in labor market, promoting digital literacy and education. This is the first part of this team. And then I would like to call upon, without further ado, Ms. Havva Huseynli, Head of the International Partnership Division, the Azerbaijan Public Employment Agency, APEA, Azerbaijan. Without further ado, let us welcome Ms. Havva. The stage is yours.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, dear participants, first of all, it's a great pleasure to welcome you all on this today's session, which is going to be focused on the digital literacy in the labor market, promoting digital literacy and education. And my name is Havva, as I've already been presented, and I will be serving as a moderator for today's session. Well, the digital literacy is one of the main important topics of today's globalized world. Digital skills, particularly digital literacy, is a very important factor for the social, economic development of the society, as well as the employability of the labor force. Without adequate digital literacy, it's almost impossible to participate in the economy. For that reason, in a rapidly evolving digital environment, which is mainly driven by the artificial intelligence, by the algorithms, the people are facing new challenges as well as are provided with the new opportunities. For that reason, this topic is very important in order to raise awareness on the importance of this issue, as well as to share the best practices in order to tackle the challenges that are coming with the digital literacy, let's say. Without any further ado, I'd like to introduce our speakers. Mr. Toghrul Alakbarov, the head of the Central Career Branch of the Azerbaijan Public Employment Service. Please come, the floor is yours. He's going to share his experience on digital literacy among job seekers and unemployed people in Azerbaijan, as well as to talk about key points on initiatives and programs implemented to improve digital skills. Now I'd like to introduce our second speaker, Naharuddin Mohd Nasir, the head of the Digital Talent and Entrepreneurship Digital Industry Acceleration Division of the Malaysian Digital Economy Corporation. Ms. Naharuddin, the floor is yours. We'd like to welcome you here at the stage. Mr. Naharuddin is going to share the MDEC's efforts and strategies to foster digital literacy and entrepreneurship skills. Well, as we are running out of the time, without any further ado, I'd like to give the floor to Mr. Alakbarov to present his outcomes and to introduce the topic. The floor is yours.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Toghrul. I will try to have a short presentation, short but interesting, because I know we are also educators, and we know that when you have a lot of information inside, sometimes your brain is not working, particularly if you are coming from the country. Like, for example, I still have a jet lag. We had a short conversation with Miss Barbara, and when you are coming from like flight for 10 hours, sometimes you forget why are you here, and even who are you. So I would like to have a short but a little bit of interactive conversation, and I know that sometimes our phones could be our friends, but sometimes our phones are not our friends. So let's start. So as I told, my name is Toghrul, and I will try to share our, maybe I can speak from this side, not having the problem with that microphone. So let's see whether it works or not. So I am representative of Central Career Branch of the State Employment or Public Employment Agency of Azerbaijan. So Central Career Branch, unfortunately, so far, it's the only governmental body which works with career guidance in Azerbaijan. It was established 2 years before, and we have approximately 30 people working in our branch. And so what's our aim? Our aim is to raise awareness about career guidance. So today I will speak a little bit about the projects that we do in Azerbaijan, and maybe some of the projects you could find relative, or you could find something better that you do. Please approach to us and tell what can we do better, okay? Main directions. So what we do mainly is enhancing quality of accessibility of career planning, raising awareness, as I mentioned, providing career guidance. So normally, any governmental body, you do either do a public, you do policy making, or you do practice, or you do research, right? We do three all of them. So we do policy making, we do practice, and we do research. It's not good, I know. It's too much of work, but still, it's good that you have this experience and you can understand what is doing right or wrong. As well as we also train the career counselors. So career counseling is something new to Azerbaijan, and we don't have the formal level of education. I don't know whether you have in your countries or not, but in Azerbaijan, I was the first trainer to train career counselors. And I studied in the US, I worked for career center, and I thought that it shouldn't be difficult. Then I also got my international certification. Still, but again, we are the only governmental body in Azerbaijan who provides this education, even informal, but still, we do it. First of all, when we speak about digital literacy, and I'm sure that definitely you even maybe know this better than me, but still, let's start from the alphabet. And what is digital literacy? Is the ability to access, manage, understand, integrate, and this information, right? Which is very important because the big part of information that we get nowadays, and here we see the also proof of it, it's from our phones, from the laptops, or from the computers, or from digital resources, let's say. As well as digital education is use of digital technologies and media to support, enhance, transform teaching and learning, right? So even at the universities or wherever we go, we still we have the digital platforms and the information come from there. Okay, again, and we have 5 competence area when we speak about digital literacy. So it's information and data literacy, communication and collaboration, digital content creation, safety and security, as well as problem solving. So in order to be good digital literacy equipped, you need to have, or you are expected to have these 5 competencies. So why it's important? Again, we know that even though Ms. Zahra, in her presentation, she mentioned that in Azerbaijan, not big part of the employers, they don't consider the digital literacy as one main part of the employability, but still, when you have a high level of digital literacy, definitely it's something that you will be one of the points that will help you to get employed. As well as increased productivity. We know that digital tools and digital literacy helps us to be more productive, as well as adaptability. It helps us to be continuously learned. Social inclusion, which is important, and economic impact. Okay, so as we see from this information, more than 95 or more than of all the jobs require digital knowledge. So more than 95% of all the jobs in the world, they require digital knowledge. And employment rate of the population belonging to the age of 55 to 64 depends on the level of digital literacy. And we know that many countries now, they have the programs which helps that people, particularly plus 40, 45 or 50, to again go to education and again to develop their digital skills. According to European Commission report, more than 9/10 of the jobs need to at least basic computer skills. So if you have 9 out of 10, they need at least basic computer skills. But the thing is, I'm not sure about your country now as a country, not all the education providers, particularly like the schools, they provide this digital literacy. This is something that we get through our life. Current situation in Azerbaijan. So, provided by we have the statistics from Azerbaijan, that 53% of population can be considered digital literate. 53 is not the highest amount you can get. As well as according to the first industrial revolution, it's our governmental body, more than 8% of Azerbaijanese population use internet. So despite 80% of population using the internet, not 80% they are digital literal. This is interesting statistics. Okay, what we do, so as I mentioned, there are 4 main competencies that we use, and that's what is expected from people. I can stay here, that you can see. So what you expect, for example, if we speak about information digital literacy, we are expected to browse, research, filtering data, information, and digital content. I don't want to read all of them, but still, that's what is expected. And we have some projects that help the people to get these skills, even despite it's not our first priority to be done in our branch and our agency. So, fourth, I would like to speak to you about a couple of our projects. First project is Allo Career. Allo Career. Allo Career is like the first online career consulting service in Azerbaijan. Of course, it was established during the pandemic because all our creativity started working when you had a pandemic. Like that's why I like the word that like challenges. It's about the challenge. Like you can see the problem or you can see the opportunity. So we look at opportunity because we didn't have a chance to meet physically, face to face with our citizens. That's why we were pushed to think out of box, and we came with the idea. The problem was that we didn't have a people who can able to work online via Zoom. So we developed career counselors. We developed their digital skills. And what we do now? So we work approximately every month. We have approximately a couple hundred of career consultations. We do it online. And how we help them digitally? So we help them with directing the CV creation. We help them with digital branding because you know that for employment, particularly if you don't speak about like the entrance works, digital branding is very important. Sometimes it's more important even your CV. Or also we help them with directing to the right job platforms where they can get the jobs, as well as writing the formal emails. You know that sometimes even the very nice candidate, they lack with the communication skills, and it could be digital skill. As well as like we help them like browsing, getting the proper information, and also presenting themselves. And second is Job Club. This is the project that we could have in your country. But in Azerbaijan, we do Job Club in a way that we gather together people who need a little bit of employability skills. They have their formal education, they lack the like soft skills. What we do? So we gather together each wave, we call it a wave. Each month we have one wave. Like approximately 20, 30 people, they come together, but we select them via interview. So they apply, then we interview them. And for 3 weeks, we have employability skills trainings, as well as 3 up to 6 months of mentorship. So mentorship, it means that we meet with them once in 2 weeks. And what is nice, so approximately 50% of all participants, successful who finish the training, they got their job. So approximately 50%. And what we teach them? Again, browsing, finding the proper information, sharing the proper information, and content, which is very important. Etiquette, managing digital identity, digital branding, again, job search sites, and writing emails. So we see that sometimes, like there is a part of the unemployed people who needs just a little bit of push. And sometimes this push could be having these proper digital skills, which we try to give them during the trainings. And as I see, like they are very happy with this. Again, what we also developed, the first governmental managed CV creation platform. And we call it CV Yarat. It means like create your CV. It's not creative answer, like the name branding, but it works. And what we do, so we help, because in Azerbaijan we don't have the one standard for CV. I don't know how about your country. In our country we still don't have it. We use the American style CV or resume, which I think is quite good, because sometimes they make it very, fluffy. They make it very colorful with like flowers, like bears, teddy bears, but it doesn't work, right? That's why someone needs to show how it should be, and we thought that it could be our agency. And we also have a lot of tips. So we show, like, for example, we show them 4 photos, and we show which one is good and which one is not bad. Because sometimes they put the photo with their friends, or they put the photo from at the recreation, or from the wedding, really. And if with the food, so once there was I remember there was a photo, a candidate for an accountant. He sent the photo with the kebab, and the HR tried to understand what was the message from the candidates. I mean, they don't know, they just don't have enough information. That's why we help them, and this is very important because even now we see that candidates are sending the resumes to our agency using this platform. And we have approximately 100,000 of candidates who develop their CVs there, and which is very important. The project I'm really proud of, one of the jobs what we do is preventive. You don't want to have all the unemployed people come at the same time. So we started this year the project named Çıraq. Çıraq means the lamp. What one means is lamp like the fire or like the light. Second, the meaning it means like the student. So we gathered together 90 high school children from all Azerbaijan, and we will provide them 9 months of mentorship for free. And we found very nice mentors, and we found that people really keen to share their experience. And one of the trainings will be about digital literacy. So you don't want to expect people to be like 25, 30 years and try to teach them because they need money. So that's why we still need to start from the school. Okay. What we also do, we developed one tool, again, about career guidance, and we do it about ourselves, and we help the people understand what they want and which field is interesting to them, or we also, what is our suggestion? So, as I mentioned, for employability, you need to have 4 skills. Computer skills, communication skills, internet skills, and advanced digital skills, like if we speak about digital literacy. And what can we do in these levels? First of all, so schools or the person should develop in digital competences. Then it's digital usage, so professional discipline and application. So they can apply this information. After this, they apply this information, and it becomes a digital transformation. So they can use this information and skills to develop themselves. So this what we suggest is at the individual level, appropriate career self-management resources. So there should be some resources that people can understand who they are. So biggest problem in the career guidance in perspective of Azerbaijan is the problem that in education, either it's a high school or the universities, there is a lack of the tools to help the person to understand who they are. There's a big lack in the self-awareness. I don't know about your countries, but you could find like 30, 40, 50 years people in my country who don't know, who can hardly answer the questions who they are and what they want. That's because of the lack of one of the reasons, the lack of the self-awareness tools, particularly the digital tools. Second is, at the organizational level, we can help the providing employees with support, advice, and requisite skills. So the places where they can use the skills at the governmental level, government is expected to have the proper strategies where the population can use the skills. Last, I am sure, there are some resources and the programs from the countries. They can develop it. For example, at the public awareness and community program, as you say, digital literacy project. At the education level, like the digital literacy in national curriculum. So national curriculum, they added digital literacy as a part of national curriculum. So as they know that it is something required in the future, so they teach it in the schools. As a digital literacy, they don't teach philosophy. They don't teach ancient history. They teach digital literacy, which is very important. At the governmental level, again, in Ireland, there's digital skills for citizenship. This, again, another project. So as we see, digital literacy, from perspective of Azerbaijan, we see it's very important, and we are not expecting anybody to develop it, because as a government, it's us expecting to do it. And our idea is to start it from the bottom, from the grassroots. So we started working with school children, we work with students, we work with unemployed people. But if you will ask my perspective, you cannot be hero at the battlefield alone. So you need to have the cooperation between other governmental bodies, show that you are not enemy and you are not competitor, that it is good for all country, as well as working together with the business in order to show that if we will do it together, you'll get the better employers. Thank you very much for your attention.
Well, thank you, Toghrul, for the comprehensive information and provided detailed practices of the APEA. I really like the sentence that the challenges sometimes can make the people to turn on their creativity and get an advantage of it. So we as a society, as the representatives of the governmental institutions and the non-governmental ones, need to take an advantage of the challenges and be agile just to transform and just to get used to that. Thank you for the information provided. And now I would like to give the floor to Mr. Naharuddin Mohd Nasir, just to provide his insights on this issue. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson, Ms. Havva. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon. Just checking my time. Because we are standing between the audience and lunch. So, okay, my name is Nick Naharuddin. I'm from the Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation, or more fondly known in Malaysia as MDEC. So MDEC is actually a government agency. We are now under the Ministry of Digital, a newly minted ministry in Malaysia. So our mandate is to grow the digital economy. So we do end-to-end, everything from investment promotion all the way to export promotion. And in between investment and export, we do ecosystem development. So we look at what's important and critical in terms of building the digital economy. So we look at things like funding, legal, regulatory issues, matters, and of course, talent. So in terms of talent, we work with the whole ecosystem player, starting from Ministry of Education, Ministry of Higher Education, Ministry of Human Resource, and all the private players as well, just to make sure that the country has enough talent to supply to all the investments that we are attracting in, right? So today I've been asked to talk about the digital literacy and education, and this is nothing new. In fact, the World Economic Forum, in 2020, right before the COVID, or just as the COVID onset, they launched the Reskilling Revolution, which aims to empower 1 billion people across the globe, right? So in your country, in our country, everyone is impacted, and they have a lot of partners, ecosystem partners supporting this. So why they are doing this is because with the digital economy, with the digital tech, if you don't have the people to help the companies, to help the government to embrace and grow the digital economy, then the digital tech, digital economy won't grow, right? So they need the people. That's why they launched this. And if you look at across the globe, we had a quick look at what's happening across the globe. So basically all countries realize the importance of having digital literacy and digital education. So if you look at, like for example, of course Singapore, they are quite advanced in that, and German, Australia, they make sure that digital technology is embedded into the education system, and they are also making sure that the population, in general population, they have the basic digital literacy. You look at Korea, they even mandate software education in primary and secondary schools. UK, Canada, everyone is talking about digital literacy and digital education. So it's a common theme across the world all over different countries, right? But what are we preparing for, right? So we're preparing for the future of work. I think I'm talking to a hall of experts here. So, you know, when you talk about work, then you have to start thinking about who's doing the work, right? Who's doing the work? Is it full-time or part-time employees? And nowadays you have like crowdsourcing, you have the gig workers coming into the equation. Then you have to start thinking about how the work is done. Is it done by people? Is it done by with the help of AI, robotics, and automation? And you also have to think about when and where work is done. So this is where, because now you have people in Malaysia serving companies in US, Europe, Japan, everywhere, and we have workers from all over the world serving companies in Malaysia. So you can work from anywhere, serving any companies anywhere in the world as well. So, but I haven't heard government outsourcing their work to people, employees from different nations. So who knows in the future, right? Because we don't know what the future is going to look like. 2 years ago, not many people were talking about AI, but now everybody is talking about AI. But some other people are also thinking that because of all the technological advancement, in the future, humans do not need to work. So this is a book by Daniel Susskind. I'm in the midst of reading it. So I think if you have time and you want to expand the ideas, you should read this book. Very interesting. They're talking about how in the early 19th century, about I think 200,000 horses were plying the roads in New York City, but with the onset of cars, only after a few years, no more horses. So I think within that few years, probably horse meat were very cheap. I don't know, but that's horses, right? Okay, so just thinking. But regardless of what the future is going to look like, but at least in the foreseeable future, we know for sure that digital economy offers immense opportunities for those countries, those companies, those individuals who are ready to seize them. So Malaysia, we have been recording very encouraging investments in the digital tech world. We have big names announcing their investments into Malaysia. So we have to make sure that we have the people who are literate enough, who are educated enough in digital tech to grab this opportunity. Right. So this is what we did in terms of looking at what are the demand for digital talents. So what we realized is that, I think you also realize that digital talents is required not only in the digital tech area, digital tech companies, but all over different economy activities. You're looking at banking, I think very strong into tech. And they are willing to pay more. Insurance carriers, IT services, of course, financial services. So all of this marketing, everyone is actually wanting to have the digital experts, digital tech professionals in their companies, right? And all this digital talent demand is recording humongous growth. You just look 400%, 200%. So it's very encouraging. And this is just looking about the popular job titles, all software development, AI, data, so it's all there, right? Again, just a snapshot of what skills are in demand. If you want, you can go to our website. We have published this for Q1 2024. We are in the midst of publishing an updated one for Q2 2024. So it analyzes what are the job in demand, the skills in demand, and all that, and probably some indication of what salaries are offered. So MDEC, as a government agency, we have to make sure that we have the necessary digital literacy across amongst our people. So that's why we have this Saya Digital. Saya means me, so I'm digital. MDEC, I'm digital, so this is actually our campaign. So we have the basic one, the digital literacy. This is targeted at the general population. We have the businesses. We are helping, especially the micro, small, medium enterprises, MSMEs, to go digital, to start adopting digital promotion, digital marketing, digital website, and everything digital, right? So we're helping them with that. Freelance, digital freelance, this is the gig part. So we are also helping people to participate in the gig economy, but our focus is more on like high-value digital job. So in fact, this year we are working with the Ministry of Higher Education. We are training about 5,000 final year graduates or fresh graduates to help guide them on how to participate in the gig economy, equip them with the necessary digital skills and digital literacy so that they can offer their services on the different job platform, digital job platform, offering their services to different companies in different countries, right? And of course, side digital career, we also realized that those who are already in the workforce, they need to continuously reskill and upskill so that they don't get left behind. Now with AI, everybody wants to go into AI, so it's one of the things that we stress upon. Right, so I mentioned about the side digital literacy, so we're helping the general population in terms of making sure that everybody in the small villages or whatever, they know how to use digital communication to communicate with their friends, with their daughters, granddaughters, grandsons, and all that. Helping them to do digital transactions, how to do it, and also more importantly, how to do it securely, right? Because so that we tell them not to simply click any link and all that. What are the best practices, safe practices when they do their digital banking, when they do digital purchases and all that. And also the digital applications, what are the basic digital apps that they need in their daily life. So this digital literacy, what we know is not nothing new. There's actually a framework. You can Google it. This is a digital workplace skills framework. This is not the authoritative framework, but I think it's a good reference. I had a look at it. It's actually a good reference because it explains what is needed and what skills, what competencies are required. So in terms of starting from the basic one, using the digital workplace, and how to start processing and applying your digital knowledge in the workplace, how to start thinking digitally, adapting digital practices into the workplace, and finally, in terms of creating new digital knowledge and all that, and connecting to different teams and people from different places, right? So this is also available on the net. Probably just some suggestions based on our interactions with different companies, because under the Malaysia Digital Initiative, which we are in charge of, there are a few thousand companies, so we continuously engage with these companies, and we sort of get from them what are their concerns and what are some of the best practices. So we noticed that as in any organization, you need to make digital literacy as part of your culture, right? So make this a culture of technology adoption. Starting from the top, leadership. Your leaders definitely, if you don't have leaders who are having the right digital literacy, then how are the leaders going to drive that company, right? So then you have to provide a continuous learning environment, whether you have your own in-house or you just simply tap onto the resources available, maybe from LinkedIn or Coursera, so there's a lot of that. Then recognition, rewards, open communication, then start to use digital collaborative tools and platforms. And because the digital skills needs of different people, different personalities, different, so you need to identify your target audience and classify maybe according to their job role, job scope, and all that. And then once you identify that, then you start looking around where you can source for these trainings, right? One trend that we notice is that because it used to be like before, you send your staff for a 2-day training or 5-day training and all that, but the trend nowadays is that you do it in micro sizes, small bits, small bites at a time, right? Because, for example, like our organization MDEC, we subscribe to LinkedIn Learning. So we identify what are the areas that we want to learn. So just go to LinkedIn Learning and say, okay, this week I want to allocate 30 minutes of my time to do that. So you can do that from your own workplace or from whatever, coffee house or whatever. Then you make it at your own pace, as long as you have a definite timeline schedule, agreed with your bosses, agreed with your HR, then you manage it on your own. So I think that's probably more feasible nowadays. Right, so this is what I mentioned now. There's a lot of online learning platform. Companies now, they are willing to actually share their knowledge more with their network and all that, right? So maybe you are wondering what are the skills required. Like I said, it's depending on what job role, job skill, job scope for each individual person. But in Malaysia, under HRD Corp, they have developed the industrial skills framework for different industry. So for digital tech, they have actually asked MDEC to develop the industrial skills framework for the digital tech, right? So it's available on their website. You can scan the QR code. There are, I think, now about 9 or 10 skills framework on digital. And according to HRD Corp, the digital tech industrial skills framework is the most popular, most downloaded skills framework. So in there, each framework defines what the job scopes, the job title. For each job title, what is required in terms of qualification, experience, soft skills, hard skills, and all that. So everything is defined there. And it also defines what are the certifications, professional certifications, which are popular or in demand by the industry. So I think it's probably worthwhile to have a look at the skills framework, right? Okay, so for MDEC, like I mentioned, we do the end-to-end developmental work for talent. We start with schools. So we work to train teachers. We also educate the career counselors from primary and secondary schools. And we also we also do a lot of awareness work under the My Digital Maker movement. And we identify top students, we call them digital ninja, and we send them for different competitions, workshops with companies. So this is very exciting. Probably you can look on the social media for digital ninja. At the university, we have the premier digital tech institutions. We work with 17 universities and 7 polytechnics. So what we do with the universities, also the same, we get industry players to look at their curriculum, and we get industry players to train the lecturers. And of course, the normal one, you link the students for internship and employment opportunities. That's what we do. For workforce, we establish the workforce training directory, and we also have a training program. Right? The entrepreneurs is something that we do, but probably not for today's session. Right. So under the workforce, we have the training directory. It's available on our website. Basically, what we do is that we get the industry experts to look at what are the available training in Malaysia, and we identify the good ones, the ones in demand by the industry, and the ones which are delivered by good trainers. Then we have our workforce training program where we help your workers to do reskilling, upskilling. We have place and train to help companies which are hiring unemployed talents and all that, right? So, yeah, so under the training directory, we have 42 training partners. We have about 191 courses in different areas. This is all very fluid. The artificial intelligence used to be 4, but the number is growing, so looking at depending on the demand. Right. So I think just as a summary, I think going forward for organizations and government alike, probably there's a real need to understand what are the digital literacy needs in your own respective organizations. then only you can prescribe the right solution, the right training and certifications for your staff. Then, of course, you need to invest in talent development. Some time ago, we did a survey for companies in Malaysia, and we realized that not many companies in Malaysia invest a necessary amount of fund to train or upskill and reskill their workforce, right? And last but not least is, of course, the leadership. I think I cannot stress this enough. It's very important to have leaders who understand digital tech and supports the development of their staff. With that, thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Naharuddin, for the comprehensive information. And it's really important, as you have mentioned, to invest to the digital literacy and understand the real need of the people. Well, due to the advent of the new technologies, as well as the effect of the globalization and digitalization, the digital literacy is required in almost all spheres of the economy. And that's why we, as the representatives of the governmental institutions, as the representatives of the private institutions, need to do our best in order to overcome this challenge. Now we are heading to the Q&A session. I would like to kindly ask the audience to actively participate in this session. If they have any questions, don't hesitate to ask them. So if we have any questions from the audience, I'd like to kindly ask to raise your hand so we can give you the floor, and then we'll proceed with the questions that are approaching through the digital channels. Yes, please. I'd like to kindly ask you to introduce yourself.
I'm Po Yi. I'm from a manufacturing industry. Okay. I have been working in a logistics company, pharmaceutical company, and currently in a feed mill company. Yep. I would like to deliver these questions to MDEC. Yeah. Okay. So could you please explain what are the challenges that MDEC is currently facing in collaboration with the maybe the highest the education institution, okay, in order to train those graduates who is able to perform well and have very practical skill to suit to the industrial needs. Okay, I'm asking this question is because when I was in pharma company, I did highlighted this issue whereby we found that some highest education, they might have challenges or they are reluctant to change their syllabus to make this, the needs, like example, like Microsoft skills, maybe the emailing skills, or these very basic digital needs in the industry, okay, to make their students, after graduates, they can immediately able to use whatever they know. In fact, now we are actually spending a lot of the resources or investment to train the fresh graduates or even the current employees to gain this kind of digital skills.
Okay, thank you. We started our initiative at the university quite some time ago, and back then it was a big challenge. But now I think after a few years of working with the Ministry of Higher Education, we have got the necessary buy-in and support from the ministry, from the highest leadership of the ministry. Recently, we signed a memorandum of understanding with the Ministry of Higher Education. So the Minister of Higher Education actually pushed for that because he saw what we were doing with the premier digital tech institutions, the universities and polytechnics, and he liked that. So he is very supportive of that. With the premier digital tech institutions, I would say that the resistance is no longer there, but I cannot. But the premier digital tech institutions is actually we're doing it faculty by faculty. So whenever we go, let's say we go to, let's say UKM, then we go to the faculty of IT first. Once the faculty of IT is able to adapt to what the industry needs, then we start looking at different faculties. So maybe most of your talents probably not coming from the IT faculty, but different faculties. So probably it will take a bit more time for this to go to the other faculties. But for the tech faculties, I will say that so far, for the past few years, in terms of how receptive they are to like industry input to the curriculum, is very, very receptive, especially for the private institutions, because some of them even have the curriculum review even 2 or 3 times a year. And they get our experts. Because we have a panel of experts, we call them the Digital Expert Network, DEN. So these people, they can engage to do different things. Curriculum development, judging for hackathons or competitions, joint research, whatever. They're open to all this collaboration. So I think in short, we have put in a few necessary components. One is having the expert at their back-end call. 2 is having the support from the ministry, so that the ministry can now push the university to be more receptive, right? And number 3, of course, having the industry players supporting us in terms of providing employment as well as internship. And the employment, I just want to highlight that we are really pushing for the higher salary. I know some employers maybe don't like this, but we really have to push for higher salary, because otherwise all our talents will be looking elsewhere in the region, right? Okay, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions from the audience? If yes, please raise your hand so we can see it. Well, if no, I would like to proceed with the digital questions. We have actually different questions directed to Mr. Toghrul and Mr. Naharuddin accordingly. I'd like to start with the Mr. Toghrul ones. How are digital skills initiatives tailored to meet the needs of the vulnerable groups, such as rural communities, women, and the unemployed? And the second question, what are the main challenges or barriers to achieving widespread digital literacy among the workers in Azerbaijan?
That's $1 million question, by the way. So if you know the answers, please tell us as well. So let's start from the challenges. So as I see, when I was mentioning about the career guidance in Azerbaijan, the problem was not just with the people not having these skills. The problem was not with the fact that these people don't have these skills. The problem was that the fact that they don't understand that it's important. They don't understand that it's there and it's important. The same is about digital literacy. So people, it's easy to train a person to learn something, right? But it's more difficult to explain the person the existence of this and the importance of this. So we call it why. So if you explain them the why, it's easier for them to learn them. So if we speak about if we go, like if I link this question with the first question about the vulnerable populations, if you don't know, just to give an example, the short information about Azerbaijan. So Azerbaijan was in the situation of war with our different neighbor for 30 years. And we had approximately 1 million. So our population is now 10 million. So approximately 1 million, 1/10 of population, either they were refugees or internally displaced people. So for years, they were living in the wagons or in the tents. Fortunately, they are living now in good conditions, and part of it, 3 years before, we had the war, and we brought back, thanks to Allah, our territories. But still, so we were having a bigger problems, it was foundation problems. So even now, even as I mentioned during my presentation, so we have approximately 80% of people who are internet users, but approximately 50% of them, they are digital literate. So the biggest problem is the awareness raising. It's a lack of awareness about the importance of digital skills. So your ability to use Facebook or TikTok, which is very popular, unfortunately, in Azerbaijan, it's not the fact that you are digital literal and you can use it. So that's the biggest challenge, to explain that it's linked to your future. And it's linked to amount of money that you will earn. And it's linked to your future of your children as well. Okay, that's the biggest challenge so far, and that's why we use a lot of social media. Our branch is the only governmental body which has a TikTok account. So we have, because we know that our users are on TikTok and Instagram. If you work with just LinkedIn people and the ones who share their certificates, it's not about, they are already digital literate. You need to work with YouTube accounts, YouTube users. You need to work with. I speak about Azerbaijan. I don't know about the usage of social media in other countries, but we use a lot of TikTok and Instagram content, and we use funny content. So if you speak about the governmental bodies, normally what you see some people with the ties using the language they don't use during the normal conversation, right? So we use different language in order to understand these people, to see that we want their future. That's the biggest challenge when we speak about digital literacy. And what is also important, it's not just a problem of the end users with the digital literacy. It's also a problem of sometimes decision makers who don't understand the importance. Mr. Naharuddin also was mentioned about this, not to other bodies, it could be universities or deans, or I don't know, some randomly appointed someone who doesn't understand the importance of digital literacy. And that's also kind of the challenges. And as well as a lack of the local resources, because most of the resources in Azerbaijan is either in Russian language due to Soviet Union, all the literature, or it's in English, and the majority of people, they don't speak either of these languages. Coming back to first question, I will try to be short. I don't think we have a lot of resources, being honest. I don't think we have enough of resources, but particularly with UNICEF, with GIZ, German partnership government organization, we try to work particularly with IDPs, internally displaced people, with refugees, and we work with, as well as other representatives, we work with people from the orphanages. But I can't say that we have particular projects which directed to the digital literacy. It's combined. It's combined projects. When we speak, for example, career guidance, we work with entrepreneurship. For example, we have a project with the UNDP. It's about women entrepreneurship in the regions. Yes, part of it is the digital literacy, part of it's personal branding, part of it is using the proper social media. But I don't think we have enough projects directly related to this vulnerable population, because we still are in the process of, in the first, when you put the seeds in the ground. So when the seeds will grow up and people will see the effect of it, we will go to the second stage when we will have implementation of other projects. Thanks for the question.
Well, thank you, Toghrul, for the answer. Then we are also having other questions that are directed to Mr. Naharuddin. How are digital skills and entrepreneurship being integrated into the educational system from primary school through higher education? And the second question is, can you share some success stories of digital entrepreneurs in Malaysia who have been benefited from government or private sector initiatives?
Okay, first question. Thank you. If you have school-going children nowadays, you will have noticed that in Malaysia they study the Asar Science Computer and all that. So that's actually part of our handiwork, also working together with the Ministry of Education, developing those. And we also work with the ministry to integrate computational thinking into different subjects. So that is already in place because we've been working with them for the past many years. So the curriculum integration has been done at the schools, I think primary as well as secondary school. At the university, I think it's mostly done through our the Premier Digital Tech Institutions Initiative, just like I mentioned just now, because part of the intervention is also looking at the curriculum advisory and curriculum development by the industry experts, advising the different respective universities. So that's done. Second question in terms of success stories of our digital entrepreneurs. There's a lot. I didn't prepare the actual cases, but through, let me just try to recall, right? I think the best performing digital entrepreneur through our intervention, she grew her. Okay, never mind. So basically, a lot of these success stories actually available also on our website. We capture these success stories, but what I would like to highlight that our brand name for digital entrepreneurship is e-Usahawan. So the e-Usahawan has been going on for more than I think 7 years now, and we have trained more than 500,000 Malaysians, right? So and to this day, the demand for the training is never ending because people see the value in it. So not just from the general public. Of course, we offer courses to the general public, but we also having requests from different ministries, different agencies to also provide this e-Usahawan training to their respective constituents. So I think that the numbers speak for themselves. The success is there. 500,000 going strong, and the demand, I think, we have our own in-house trainers, and our in-house trainers, I think we have about now 20 of them. We can never see them in the office because they are everywhere, all weekend, all weekdays, everywhere, all over the country. Thank you.
I have a short comment or addition. So coming back to the first question about education. So what we found in Azerbaijan, I cannot speak about the primary education because we haven't started working there yet, because it's like the work of the Minister of Education and Science. But regarding the higher education, what we found very useful, and maybe you can use or already using in country. So we are not working directly with the final users generally because there are too many. But we work on developing the capacity building of career centers. Because when the career center is good enough and strong enough, and generally they are also providers of this kind of skill education in the university, if their workers are good enough, they also provide the proper education and proper awareness raising to students. For example, in Azerbaijan, for the last 3-4 years, majority of universities, they started providing the career readiness classes for the universities. And it's a big effect, because they provide soft skills, which is very important. We know it's one of the best sellers of the candidate, as well as hard skills. So what we saw, that when we also, as a government, explain to the rector of the president of university importance of career centers, because sometimes not all the governments, they understand the importance of career centers. When they also promote career centers and help them to develop themselves, and we help them to understand that career center is also part of the marketing of the university, and we see the results and success stories, it helps a lot to the university, to career centers, and as a final result to the end users like students.
Well, thank you very much. As we are already coming to an end of the session, and due to the time frame, I'd like just to proceed with 2 last questions and then end the session, the first part of the session, let's say. Mr. Toghrul, can you please elaborate the Chirag initiative? What was the total number of participants? How do you measure the success of this initiative? Thank you.
So as I mentioned, Chirag is like the light, or the student, means the students in Azerbaijan, probably it's from Arabic or Persian language. So we just started it. We had approximately 2,000 candidates, 2,000. And my idea when we started this initiative was to help particularly to regional youth who don't have enough resources to see where is the world and where we are going. So we have 2,000 of candidates. We have the first period. The first stage was about the application period, and second was the interview. And we were shocked. So can you imagine? There was a schooled child in the 8th form who was speaking about, for example, giving the quote from the Haruki Murakami or they like giving like statistics from World Economic Forum, and they are just in the 8th form, you know. And they was challenging us. They were saying like, who could be my mentor there? Like, could you provide the profile of my mentor? And we were shocked because it was us who was choosing them, but on the other side we saw very confident youth who is coming and they know what they want. So the result is not ready because it's just in the process. The first part is the process. I just have the feedback from my colleagues, and they are like one of my colleagues. He told like he delivered approximately 1,000 of trainings or workshop, and he mentioned that he never have seen such an energetic group. Because when you consider a youth as your colleague, not as from the up-down system, they can really shock you. And as a result, what we expect? We expect to put the seeds in the ground in the regions. Because as we know, there is a quote, like, you are the medium of the 5 people around you. So we want these people to be the agents of change in their regions. We want them to be the promoters of our values. We want them to show that not everything depends on the luck, and your hard work really pays off. And after a while, we are expecting them to be the network, because people are attracted to the success, and that's why we want these people to help them with 9 months of mentorship, to see that many things in this life is really possible. Because I don't know about your country, like majority of the possibilities in Azerbaijan is in Baku, in the capital city. And regional youth, sometimes they're really demotivated, like, we don't have the chances, we don't have the resources. When you show them that even by online program, these people can challenge themselves, their surroundings, sometimes which is also challenging them that, hey, you cannot do success, you cannot achieve anything because you don't have the friend who can help you. But when they show them, so first is prove to them that many things is possible, prove to them that they can achieve it, and they will achieve it in 9 months, to give them the chance to meet with the professional people around Azerbaijan, because their mentors will be very professional people, as well as will have the expert meetings, like the head of governmental bodies, head of like universities, and they will see that these people, they have normally the same rules to achieve their success, and it will give them the confidence to go towards their goals. Shortly.
Well, thank you, perfect time management. And the last question to Mr. Naharuddin. What would be the strategy to maintain and govern the talent in digital? What we all often observe is the salary scale is not equal or to the scale outside of Malaysia. For that reason, we are losing talent, as they will have the tendency to look for opportunities outside of Malaysia.
Yeah, this is something that I mentioned earlier. So actually, we look at the different studies and shows that actually we are, compared to different countries in the region, we are underpaid a bit. So that's why through our initiative, we have been pushing our companies to offer a higher salary. So for example, when we started the PDTI initiative, I think the average starting salary for fresh graduates was 2,000 plus. Now we are already pushing about 3,500 after I think 5 years, 6 years. And I think now we are also working with the industry in Penang to actually push the envelope further, so that at least our starting salary for fresh graduates will be 4,000 ringgit. So that is the target. And I think companies now realize that they have no choice but to actually offer this competitive salary. Otherwise, we'll be losing our talent, right? So that we're pushing through that, and we're also pushing through different industry associations. PCOM, for example, they're also pushing their members. If you look at the PCOM report for last year, the average salary, not for fresh graduate, but for the working level, actually around 7,000 onwards already. So we are seeing very positive, very encouraging signs. And I think with the recent big investments from global players like Microsoft, Google, AWS and all that, definitely we'll see a better salary for our tech professionals. Thank you. And by the way, just to mention that Perkeso has been our also great partner. Just last weekend we had a workshop, training, co-organized with Perkeso. So thank you, Perkeso.
Thank you very much to the speakers and to the audience for their active participation. Well, the first part of our session has come to an end, and it's really interesting that the people here, the representatives from the different professional backgrounds, are facing the same challenges, but at the same time are providing different interesting approaches to the solution of this issue. And this platform is a great opportunity to share the best practices. So see you after the lunch. I'd like to give the floor to the MC.
All right, thank you so much to our moderator and our distinguished speakers for their shared, perceptive and thoughtful presentation. And this time we would like to present token of our appreciation to our speakers and moderator. And with that, I would like to invite Mr. Azmin Adnan, Chief Investment Officer of Progreso Malaysia, to join the stage to present the token of appreciation, please. We'd like to present the token first to our moderator of the session, Ms. Havva Huseynli, please. Our first speaker, Mr. Toghrul Alakbarov. Last but not least, our second speaker, professional technologist Naharuddin, Mohd Nasir. Thank you, Mr. Azmin, and thank you once again to our wonderful speakers and also the moderator for their engaging and also informative presentation. Okay, we do have some moments with photographer to take some momentous photos. Once again, please, a big round of applause to the moderator and our distinguished speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now break for lunch. Again, I think this is a great opportunity to relax, network, and discuss the ideas that we have heard so far. However, please be mindful to join us back here by 2:25 p.m.